Okay, you see the news all the time. So you ever wondered how legal authorities, like the police, like the AFP, like any authority, handles cases where a person's involved in a crime in one state but found in another? Well, this is a very complex scenario that is managed through what's called interstate extradition. Okay, so today on Lawishhh, diving deep into the intricacies of this legal process. By way of background, my name is Ennis. I'm a criminal defense lawyer and a legal podcaster, and I'm going to dive way into from the cases to how it works to what's the effects of this. All right, by way of introduction, this process is complex. It's just like fraud, it's just like money orders. It's a very complex issue, but we're going to be unpacking extradition process. It's generally possessed from more New South Wales, but this will show the Australian process. Again, from legislation to real world applications, we've got the comprehensive breakdown for you. I'm very excited. I've seen this on the news and I've seen this be such a trend that people try to escape from cutting their air monitor to just trying to run as soon as they are being proposed as an offender. But let's go into it to the exact explanation of it. Let's start with the basic. Interstate extradition is not about transferring individuals. It involves delicate legal negotiations and strict adherence to the law. Sometimes some states would want to prosecute them even if the offense didn't happen there, but other states would rather have them in there to follow through the process. It comes down to a case by case and what state. The process overall, it ensures that the state boundaries do not hinder justice. This has been an ongoing issue since Federation. I see it firsthand with police all over, and they're not the best at communicating. Let's just leave it at that. Well, let's dive into the legislation. Diving deeper into the Service and Execution of the Processes Act 1992, we find that it's not just a set of rules. It's a framework that balances the right of individuals with demands of justice across state lines. So we're going to expand this to, I hope you've seen this, it's this Sydney murder case and a couple of other examples. Again, it's not just these really, really high profile crimes. It could even be just drug importation or much less serious crimes than murder. But this particular one is a Victorian man extradition to Sydney and also exploring other notable cases. These stories highlight the practical application of the extradition laws and the challenges faced like in real life scenarios. Again, I said it before, it's very hard for one state to extradite to another state, especially if they want to charge him. But I've seen a process where even state police and federal police really don't know what to do about it. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. If there's any extradition case that you want me to get into, please drop it in the comments, or if there's any other topics, please share in the comments. But like and subscribe, and I'm excited to show you more of this for all these processes. But let's get back into it. All right, so the nitty gritty of this. How does extradition request actually work? Well, it's not just a simple form, right? From the arrest warrant to the final handover, each step is crucial and laden with legal considerations. Again, it goes down to the act, it goes down to the state, it goes back to the OIC, which is the officer in charge, what they want to do as well. It also sometimes goes up to the crime manager. It's a very complex process, and it's usually not good for the offender. But we'll go into the challenges. Interstate extradition doesn't exist in a bubble. It's influenced by international law and various significance from international extradition. It's much more complicated when it's international extradition. You got to understand that the countries have to be a part of the extradition process. A lot of countries don't tend to do it, especially if that person is a dual citizen or just a citizen in general. But let's compare these processes and understand their unique challenges. So you've seen all of the news. You see people say, for instance, I'm Turkish, see people from Turkey being extradited because the government, for whatever reason, now decide, they want to go in the process because they may have people in Australia that want to extradite, or maybe they just want to keep the community safe. It's just all comes down to the cooperation of that agency, cooperation of the country, and how much resources the police really want to put into getting this person. And they tend to do it with more high profile crimes or very serious crimes like drug exploitation, human trafficking, murder, or people who just run away from bail. Like I've seen people, you see the infamous case on Underbelly, but there's a particular guy who cut off his ankle monitor. He then fled to Greece on a boat, and at the time Greece didn't have an extradition process with Australia, so he knew that. He knew what he was getting into, but then eventually it was a couple of detectives that pushed into it, and they really wanted to get him. And that's when I go back to how complex it can be. It's not a simple case where we'll just extradite him. Even like I said, interstate, it just comes down to the court, the arresting officer, the notion of it. Sometimes states just want to keep it for the publicity. It all depends. But in any event, I hope this was well. I hope you loved it. Like, share, subscribe. And again, drop it in the comments. I'd love to answer these questions. And if there's any real life cases as well, or if you have any questions, just ask below and I can talk to you or make a video. But until next time, I'll see you then.